welcome to the fresh episode of Goa Wants To Know. We are in the middle of election season. In fact, the nominations are going to close in the next 3 days, after which it's going to be a race to the finish for the next 14 days. As we know that in this program we speak to movers and shakers of Goan politics, and we have the veteran Mr. Alexio Sequeira with us, the working president of the Congress, former minister, and one of the stalwarts of the Congress at this point of time as they try to win back the mandate. Welcome.
Thank you.
Sequeira.
Thank you, boss.
I will begin by asking you, how is it going?
When you ask me that question, you're referring to the Congress party at
Yes,
large or
yes, the
constituency?
the Congress. The Congress party.
All over Goa.
Yeah, the Congress party all over Goa.
I think we are doing well. I think we have been well accepted. We are being well accepted. And I'm sure this time we will form the next government. Why do I say that? Because yes, we have stood up by certain commitments that we had done. Besides that, there is a lot of anti-incumbency against the present setup. When I said we stood up to our commitments, I think the biggest commitment was that none of the 10 defectors would be given tickets, which we have not, we have not given them. And recently we had an episode where my MLA, Mr. Reginald Lawrence, unfortunately left the Congress and went to TMC and then resigned from the TMC. I would have loved to have had him in the Congress, but due to certain acts of his, the party thought it wiser not to
Reinduct
him. So I think this time the party means business. And with these acts, I think the public at large, the voters, can rest assured that there will be no defections in the forthcoming years.
When you say no defections, you are saying that after the election, not a single person from the Congress will beat the anti-incumbency and move to the BJP or any other party.
See, I will give an example. Between 2007 and 2012, we had a clear majority government.
That's right.
There was no defection whatsoever. At the outset, I had said that the government will be formed by the Indian National Congress Party. To form a government, you have to have a clear majority. So once again, I'm sure with that majority, there will be no defections, just as we had during 2007 to 2012. We stood together. We formed the government, we stood together for 5 years. No defections whatsoever. Unfortunately, 2017 to 2022, things went wrong, and then the mess started. I think the party is seized with the issues of the past. The party also realizes certain mistakes that we committed, and therefore I can confidently say that the party will not repeat those mistakes, and we will complete 5 years, 2022 to 2027, without any problem whatsoever.
Can you, Mr. Sequeira, elaborate on what went wrong? Because you finished the 2017 elections on a very, very high note, but then of course those 2 to 3 days, and I call them the Ides of March, as it were, when things went completely wrong, a government which was literally knocking at your doorstep.
I agree with you.
Was squandered away.
I agree with you.
And we all know that there were various reasons. Let me just hear it from your words as to what went wrong on those fateful 2 nights, followed by what went wrong even after that.
Because I am not in a position to speak, and I will tell you why. I was not a party to any of the deliberations in 2017. I talk to you, you give me one version. I talk to him, he gives me another version. So what is the real truth that led to the
non-formation?
Believe me, it led to sort of a frustration amongst our voters.
Right.
You know, the voters felt cheated.
Right.
I really don't know what is the cause. I really don't know. But this time, let me assure everyone that this situation will not arise again. Because I think Delhi means business. We in Goa also mean business because we know from past mistakes, as I said, that it cost us a government. We know from past mistakes that our voters feel let down. So this time we will not commit mistakes of the past.
Okay, what happened on those 3 nights?
I don't know.
Fine.
I really
you do
don't
not know. Fair enough. We take that. But we all know what happened post which, in the sense that as an opposition party, the Congress started kind of bleeding credibility and bleeding MLAs. We all know that within half an hour of being sworn in, Vishwajit Rane left. Then that whole exodus did not stop. You had Dayanand Sopte going, you had Subhash Shirodkar going, and then you had that unsavory incident of 10 people going
Agreed.
That is one part, and one can say that look, there were MLAs who were greedy and they had lust for power and they went. Whatever be the reasons, the party could not stem the tide. Nor it seems was there any proper introspection done to make amends at that point of time, because the whole issue wasn't really addressed.
No, I don't think you are right there. I think introspection was done. I don't know if I'm wrong in saying that maybe at that point of time we had no option but to accept reality.
Right.
And we thought that we would get some relief from the speaker, from the courts. And unfortunately, till date, nothing much has happened.
Right.
Maybe because of COVID, that the courts have not, taken up the matter because the High Court is closed. Closed is the wrong word. But they're taking up basically primarily urgent issues.
Right.
So maybe in their wisdom, this doesn't figure as an urgent matter.
But do you agree that the organization which was probably kind of built up during the run-up to the 2017 elections, after which the district committees, the block committees, all the basic organization, the state executive committee, all those frontal organizations, those spokes in the grand wheel, those spokes kind of withered away, because of which the party organization suffered.
No, I don't think. I agree with you that initially many of the spokes, as we call them, were disillusioned. I don't think anybody has gone along with one or two or the 10. I don't think anybody has gone along with them.
Right.
Yes, a few personal friends of people who owed sort of personal allegiance might have gone along, but I think the party has been reorganized. I think the frontal organizations are strong, and I think we are ready for battle 2022.
Coming to the list of candidates that you all have declared, I think about 25-30 seats have already been declared, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we have declared 36.
36 seats, right? Yeah, okay. 36 seats have already been declared, and one is battle.
I'm not sure whether the next one is declared, the 37th one.
Right.
But I know for sure 36
is declared, right. As we speak, 36 seats have been declared. Now, the thing is, if you look at the pattern of these seats and the number of people who've been given, there are a couple of things that come to mind. Certainly some old veterans like you, when you sought to contest, you were there. Some familiar faces are already there who are there for the party. But we've also seen people from outside parties coming in. I mean, we've seen Michael Lobo coming in. Seat goes to him and his Mrs. Delilah. That has also happened. Then we see a situation in Benoli where all of a sudden somebody who left the TMC was handed over a ticket at the last moment, and of course there are allegations going everywhere. In fact, one of your young lady workers or a leader there has made a viral video saying that Tony Dice came and offered 30 lakhs to the party and the party took him. Of course, we also understand many of these things have to be taken with more than a pinch of salt because there are hurt and disgruntled people speaking. Sure. We take that, we factor that in. So when these kind of things are happening, of course, also if you see in Kankon, we understand that you all gave a ticket to a good senior seasoned person, but at the same time, one of his colleagues, Mahadev, who was his colleague, the entire block goes. So, will it be okay to assume that even now, more than party building, coming to power, getting a ticket, playing a part in representative politics rather than organization building is still paramount, and because of which certain compromises have had to be made.
I don't think any compromises have been done. If compromises were done, then we might have not had these. I think the party has.
If you could respond to specific things.
No, I'm coming.
One is on Michael Delilah, one is what happened in Benoni. These are two issues.
See, the party has also been guided by surveys. I think Michael was not happy, was not comfortable in the BJP setup for reasons best known to him. As far as joining of the Congress party is concerned, I think he has joined the party disheartened. He has said this is not the BJP of Manohar Parrikar. So he was disheartened with the present setup, which I think forced him to decide to leave BJP.
Right.
As far as joining of the Congress, I think it was again his decision. And then once you're a Congress member, then the party also thinks of winnability.
Right.
So they've chosen him and his wife, and we are confident we'll win both the seats.
And you felt that his wife was the best candidate in Shirley. Okay.
That's why she got the ticket.
Okay. But was these things come with a price. The price that you all had to pay was your
we unfortunately, you see,
yes.
we've lost Agnel,
yes.
who's really a very personal friend of mine.
That's
we've lost him.
Correct.
We've lost Joseph. We've lost Mr. Menezes. We've lost these people.
Right.
But I think that happens. I think even if you take in Lotali, in Nuve constituency, where I've got the ticket, there are many who have gone the other way.
Yes.
So this is bound to upset. You see, all of us are aspirants.
Right.
All of us wish that we will get the ticket. And then sometimes it becomes a little difficult to control our emotions. And then we go this way, that way.
Okay, now coming to larger issue. See, fundamentally, election is also used to be about issues. I'm sure it is about.
It is still issues.
Well, because of the way the politics has become, personalities and these kind of alliances and last minute people coming in way, that's become unfortunately the DNA and grammar of
all parties.
So we can't single out any particular party here, but also in the good old days and even now romantically, one would like to think that certain critical issues that are plaguing Goa becomes part of the whole narrative. And if you see, and you are a veteran old timer and I'm a semi old timer, one would know that there are one beautiful thing about elections and parties is to be manifestos, and manifestos is something that requires a deep study. It's actually essentially a great research based academic document which becomes your
it's like your Bible.
Yes, absolutely. Do you agree that parties are not spending enough resources and time to get a proper manifesto and then ensuring that all their candidates are trained to articulate the essence of it through deep study themselves? That exercise is lacking not just in Congress and in other parties.
No, I don't agree with you as far as Congress is concerned. Because I know for sure, and I've attended a couple of these meetings, wherein public were invited to come, contribute suggestions, share their opinions, share their, what they would look forward to.
Right.
And after taking note of all these suggestions, we have come out with a manifesto.
Right.
This is number one. The Indian National Congress is led by the Gandhi family. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when he visited Goa, very clearly said that I will ensure that everything mentioned, that we will stand by the manifesto.
Right.
Now, I think if a leader of his stature makes such a statement, we will be left with no option but to implement it A to Z. Because, you see, his integrity or his commitment to Goa would not stand if we don't implement the manifesto.
Right.
About the other parties, I can't comment.
Okay. See, as far as the manifesto and issues are concerned, apart from the fact that there is an anti-incumbency against the BJP, that is given, But my point is, what are the issues with which you feel you have a winner? In the sense that, what are the issues where you feel the party is getting a lot of traction by espousing those issues?
See, I think issue number one, Congress enjoys the reputation of being a secular party. Okay, this is one big plus point of ours. Second issue is that we have taken up many issues that the local people sort of are looking forward. Like, we have given a commitment that we will stop the import of coal, or control the import of coal, what is happening here. We've given a commitment that we will stop the Tamanar power plant. We've also given a commitment that we will stop the double tracking. Okay? You may tell me part is done. Yes, but we will ensure that the balance part is not done. So ensuring that you can't use that line. So there are issues which are burning issues in Goa that we have definitely taken up.
About coal, because you mentioned coal and double tracking, I'm compelled to ask you this question.
Please.
See, the thing is, when the time came for renewal of the licenses or the permissions to both Adani and Jindal, at that point of time, the renewals were done during the Digambar Kamat's time.
No, I was the environment minister at that time.
Correct. Okay. Yes. So you'd be in a best position to clarify this.
I didn't dream you'd ask me this, so I have not come with the facts. But I vaguely remember that at that time, if I'm not mistaken, it was only Jindal who was given permission to set up that.
No, I've got the documents.
No, your documents are wrong. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. You had in fact published it on the newspaper.
Yes, correct. There were two documents.
You're referring to a document, if I remember correctly, dated 2nd, you were banking on a document dated 2nd March 2012.
I'll have to get back to it. I don't think it was 2012.
No, I'm telling you. No, I'm talking of Adani's. I'm talking of Adani's. Okay, 2nd March.
No, I'm talking of the renewals.
No, I'm coming to it. So my request first is take out Adani's.
Take out that?
Adani.
Okay.
Okay. Now you'll ask me why take out Adani. I don't believe that the letter, the permission that you are referring to, was a permission to operate. It was a permission to establish. It was consent to establish this harbour.
No, those documents.
I'm sure what
those documents were not consented.
Boss, I'm 100% sure what I'm talking about Adani. Let me finish my say.
Sure.
You are a seasoned man. We are now in election code. Do you believe that, be it pollution board, be it any government body, semi-government body, government body, is in a position to ask to grant a consent to operate, dated 2nd March, when the elections were on 3rd of March? Which officer is seated in his office to sign such a...
To the best of my knowledge...
No, this is as far as Adani is concerned. As far as Jindal is concerned, yes, renewals were issued. When was the original permission granted to Jindal? Much before the Digambar Kamath government.
The original permission, yes.
Much before.
The original
okay, if I remember correctly, it was in the 90s.
The original permission was granted before it, but during the Digambar Kamath's time, it was renewed.
No, I'm saying it was renewed. I'm not denying the fact. But I would also like to ask you, what was the tonnage permitted? It was post our government, where the tonnages were drastically increased.
No, tonnages were not increased.
Yes, you check up. With Adani's,
during your time it was not increased.
During my time it was not increased.
Yes.
During my time it was not.
It was renewed. But.
It was. I'm admitting we renewed Jindal's, but I'm also saying that we did not give permission to Adani, and Adani did not start operation during our government.
Okay.
They were only granted permission on 2nd of March, which I find hard to believe was. Trust me. With elections having been held on 3rd of March.
Right.
I find it very hard to believe that any government officer, senior officer, would be in the office to grant that.
Okay, fine. Okay. So we take your version and your points certainly on record. But what you're essentially saying now is that irrespective of the documentation that happened in the past, you are committing that your party will ensure that this coal movement into Goa will stop.
Yes, that is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said.
Okay.
My leader has said.
That you will stop the Adanis and the generals from transporting coal through Goa.
That is what our leaders have said.
And
we'll stand by it.
Right. Okay. So the existing contract will have to be ceased. Will have to be terminated.
Existing contract will have to terminate. Basically, what has happened is that, you see, post our government, we have seen, yes, during our term also there was pollution. So I can't deny the fact. High Court intervened. High Court sought the services of Terry to guide us, into certain things that had to be implemented.
Right.
I know that the order was issued by the High Court also, based on Terry's suggestions and recommendations. But post our government, the High Court had given MPT time to, for example, I think they had to erect domes and whatever it is.
Right.
I think till date nothing has been done.
Right.
So you may tell me you will tell me, and I believe it is, you are right, that government is a continuous process. It is not that it stops with me and then when the new government comes, they do what they want. No, it is not. But if I am not mistaken, I think many of the issues raised by Terry have not been, and the High Court have not been implemented.
Okay. I'll just switch
and I'll tell you personally, it is very painful to see how the people along the track are suffering.
That's true. That's very true.
When I stood for my re-election in 2012, I happened to go to visit a deputy sarpanch, ex today. And I could see how people were struggling to cross that single railway track was.
In Kansali.
In Kansali.
Yes.
Single track.
Yes.
I brought to Goa, at my instance, Mr. Bharat Solanki came. He was the then railway minister, Minister of State for Railway with independent charge.
Right.
Or maybe the railway minister. I personally took him to Kansali and this area. He himself was alarmed. And at that time, he assured that we would stop the doubling thing or look out for another route.
Right.
Unfortunately, I lost the election and I lost interest. And it remained like that.
Okay, I'll come to another topic which you understand really well more than most people in Goa, and that is mining. My question is, firstly, what is the party's stand as far as the roadmap to restarting mining is concerned? I'll get to specific questions, but
no issue.
Like a quick broad response.
No issue. As far as the party is concerned, I think we are in favor of restarting mining, but in a proper manner. There was a big hue and cry about a mining scam of 35,000 crores. Today, subsequently, that figure came to 4,000 crores or something like that. Subsequently, the figure has come to, I think, 100 and odd crores, if I'm not mistaken, after the chartered accountants and all those people are...
No, the figures I'll tell you.
No, I'm coming back.
Yeah. On figures, I'm very well versed.
No, I'm not sure of the figures. I promise I'm not sure. Okay? But I know that the figures were based originally on a report that was supposed to have been finalized by the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, chaired by late Manohar Parrikar. But recently I saw a letter addressed to Mr. Digambar Kamal from the legislature, which says that they have no PAC report whatsoever on record.
Yes, the PAC report did not actually go on record because
why?
One of the PAC members did not actually sign.
So no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
The PAC was.
No, I agree. You are telling me that Agnel Fernandez did.
That's correct.
I agree with you.
Yes.
But tell me, majority signatories were there.
Yes.
Agnel was just one of the committee members.
So why is that report not tabled?
Unfortunately, Mr. Parikar is dead. We have to ask him what is the reason. I mean, he
No,
would
it
have
was
been
not tabled.
he would have been able to answer.
It was not tabled.
He would have been able.
Correct.
So how can you say that there was a scam of 35,000 crores?
See,
To me, I'll tell you, I was not connected with the mining.
On the extent of the scam and the amount, one can have a long discussion, and this interview will take on a different tangent because there will be so many questions and answers.
Sure.
So the issue is that's a debate that it's ongoing and we've addressed it. So I'm not going to do that because I went delve deep into that during my interview with Girish. So he's responded and I've spoken. So I don't want to have the same trend and repeat the same question, which is why I'm not addressing it now. The question from me to you is, if we look at the situation now when there is no mining, a dump policy has been introduced, and there needs to be a clear roadmap into even if we need to have auctions, who's going to participate in the auction, the role that the mineral corporation will ultimately play. Will the players who do not have leases now and who have been kind of penalized for illegal mining, quote unquote, who are not in the picture anymore? So these are 4 or 5 touch points. In the ecosystem of mining revolves around these questions. So I'm essentially saying is, has the party kind of formulated a basic kind of an outline as to how mining should start and what kind of mining should we have at this point?
I know for sure that the party is in favor of starting mining. I also know for sure that the mining corporation that you referred to is a farce.
It's a government mining corporation has been introduced by the government.
It's introduced by the government, but it gave the impression that it was a corporation that was going to take over mining.
Right.
All the leases will be taken over by the mining corporation.
Right.
But I am told by reliable people that the mining corporation is going to be another entity that would compete with the mine owners to get that lease. So all that farce of the present government trying to give an impression to the common man that they are going to take over and they are going to start all the mining in Goa is a farce. They are misguiding the public with the only intention of getting votes.
So you feel that the mining corporation will actually get the old mining companies
No,
back
then
again?
100%. I've got to compete with you. If you are the higher bidder, you take it.
So according to you, when you all come back to power, how do you plan to fix this in a correct way?
We'll definitely come out with a strategy to handle the issue. See, one thing for sure, we know that we have to restart mining. But at what level?
Right.
That definitely we'll have to apply our minds to.
But are you agreeing to the fact that mining has to be in the hands of locals and locals should benefit from the mineral resources of this land?
I have not applied my mind to that, and I don't know where the party stand. Party will all sit together and evolve a decision.
Okay.
Come to a conclusion.
Because see, one of the biggest challenges is to ensure that money goes back into the hands of the common people who work there, the local mining contractors, the local truck guys, people who've been.
I'm in favor. I definitely am in favor of the locals benefiting from that.
Right.
I'm definitely in favor of it. Personally, I'm one with the people.
Right. Okay, so that's one big topic out of the way. Of course, we can go on. We can talk about tourism. We can talk about economy. We can talk about jobs. We can talk about everything else. But
I think COVID has been an eye opener to all of us.
Okay.
You see, so we have to apply our minds and think of something wherein our people it's going to be sustainable for the people. Today, you casually just now mentioned tourism and this and that. The fact is that during COVID, everybody has suffered.
Right.
Name the industry and person has suffered. And with industry suffering, automatically the employees down the line have also suffered.
Okay, I'll end this again with a political question because at the end of the day, the showstopper is of course elections and politics and all that. Now, in the Congress party, there are so many leaders, and they always are, but right now they are less. But who would be potential chief ministerial aspirants?
Because normally, you see, I've won 4 elections.
But will the party declare a chief CM's face?
No, I don't know about the party. I'm talking of past history.
Yes.
As an MLA, what I have seen, what I've observed, and whatever the party do. 4 terms I won, or 4 elections I won. The party never declared a CM face before the election. Post elections, we have observers who come from Delhi, who sit with the winning candidates, and they take the opinion of everyone around. And then whoever is majority is declared as chief minister. So I assume it will be done this time too. Unless the Congress bigwigs have changed the policy of the party.
But again, I know that process happens, but ultimately it's decided by the centre.
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. No. We normally pass a resolution that,
You honestly think that in Punjab, that process was followed and Mr. Chandi was the choice of all the MLAs?
I would assume so. Especially at that critical time when Captain left us.
Yes.
I think they would have definitely been cautious. Nobody would, Captain is a respected figure, nobody would want anybody to follow him.
I mean it with respect, in the fag end of your career, because you have said that, you obviously don't have too many elections ahead of you now.
100%.
This would at least be your second last or probably the last, but it could be your second last, maybe you would want to
I'm
fight.
happy that you have not made me so old.
I'm sure you have many years in politics ahead of you, but that's a call that you'll take. But suffice to say, you've got a lot more years in politics behind you than ahead of you. That would be fair to,
Fine.
at least I think that's a fair comment to make. So in that kind of a situation, do you have aspirations to kind of lead the state, be chief minister?
You want an honest answer?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
And why no, I will also tell you. I know my defects. I know my minus points. And trust me, I will not survive in the chair for more than 15 days. So best.
But why would you say that?
Because many of the things I may not agree with.
Lesser mortals have survived.
No. I trust me, I'm telling you. I have no ambition whatsoever. Given a ministership, I will be content. Nothing beyond that. And believe me, I will stand by this. It is not that I'm going to change my mind tomorrow and slowly start, no.
Mr. Sequeira, it's been a pleasure having you and for responding to all the questions thoroughly and deftly. And we thank you very much and wish you and your party all the very best for the coming elections.
And thank you for having had me.
Pleasure.
Thank you.